thank you for joining me in today's video. Today we are going to talk about the disorder borderline personality disorder. Now this is kind of a controversial topic. I know some professional psychiatrists don't necessarily believe in the diagnosis borderline personality, so I don't know. I mean, that's up to you to decide. I'm just going to get into facts. It is in the DSM, so it is an actual diagnosis, but some doctors, I've had doctors that just don't like giving it out because they don't really agree with it. So, as far as my personal experience goes, I have been told that I have this disorder. Both times that I went to the ER for overdosing, I was told by the ER psychiatrist that he thought that I had borderline personality disorder. Now, the first time I was told that, the second time, I don't know if maybe they were just looking off the notes of the first time that I came in and they were like, oh yeah, well she has it because that's what they said the first time. Or maybe this doctor on his own thought that I had it as well. So I don't know, but I've only been diagnosed by ER doctors. I've never had like a regular psychiatrist at a regular practice diagnose me as borderline. I've always been bipolar and more recently schizoaffective. So I don't know. But anyway, let me go ahead and get into it. So borderline personality disorder is a serious mental illness marked by unstable moods, behavior, and relationships. Now, in 1980, the DSM-3 listed BPD as a diagnosable illness for the first time. So, it hasn't been around very long, only since 1980. Because some people with severe BPD have brief psychotic episodes, experts originally thought of this illness as atypical or borderline versions of other mental disorders. While mental health experts now generally agree that the name borderline personality disorder is misleading, a more accurate term does not exist yet. So there is a lot of talk on the name that it doesn't really fit the disorder. What does borderline really mean? It's not entirely accurate. But anyway, most people who have BPD suffer from problems with regulating emotions and thoughts, impulsive and reckless behavior, and unstable relationships with other people. People with this disorder also have high rates of co-occurring disorders, such as depression, anxiety disorders, substance abuse, and eating disorders, along with self-harm, suicidal behaviors, and completed suicides. Now, as for the causes, possible causes and risk factors for BPD is still at a very early stage. Scientists generally agree that genetic and environmental factors are likely to be involved. Studies on twins with BPD suggest that the illness is strongly inherited. Social or cultural factors may increase the risk for BPD. Adults with borderline personality disorder are consistently more likely to be victims of violence, including rape and other crimes. So that was kind of interesting. Now, for the signs and the symptoms, a person must show an enduring pattern of behavior that includes at least 5 of the following symptoms. Number 1, extreme reactions, including panic, depression, rage, or frantic actions to abandonment, whether real or perceived. Number 2, a pattern of intense and stormy relationships with family, friends, and loved ones, often veering from extreme closeness and love, idealization, to extreme dislike or anger, devaluation. Number 3, distorted and unstable self-image or sense of self, which can result in changes in feelings, opinions, values, or plans and goals for the future, such as school or career choices. Number 4, impulsive and often dangerous behaviors such as spending sprees, unsafe sex, substance abuse, reckless driving, and binge eating. Number 5, recurring suicidal behaviors or threats or self-harming behaviors such as cutting. Number 6, intense and highly changeable moods, with each episode lasting from a few hours to a few days. So you have a little bit of bipolar similarness there, but whereas you have, they call it like rapid cycling, like super rapid cycling. It's not super, but they have a name for it, where mood episodes can last for only a few hours, but that's more so uncommon. Usually they last a matter of days or weeks longer. So that's where borderline is a little bit different because the mood episodes can only last for a matter of hours. Number 7, chronic feelings of emptiness and or boredom. Number 8, inappropriate intense anger or problems controlling anger. Number 9, having stress-related paranoid thoughts or severe dissociative symptoms such as feeling cut off from oneself, observing oneself from the outside of the body, or losing touch with reality. Now, seemingly mundane events may trigger symptoms. For example, people with BPD may feel angry and distressed over minor separations, such as vacations, business trips, or sudden changes of plans from people who they feel close. Suicide and self-harm. As many as 80% of people with BPD have suicidal behaviors, and about 4 to 9% commit suicide. Now, who is at risk? About 1.6% of adults in the United States have BPD in any given year. BPD usually begins during adolescence or early adulthood. Some studies suggest that early symptoms of the illness may occur in childhood. Women with BPD are more likely to have co-occurring disorders such as major depression, anxiety disorders, or eating disorders. And men, BPD is more likely to co-occur with disorders such as substance abuse or antisocial personality disorder. About 85% of people with BPD also meet the diagnostic criteria for another mental illness. So if you have BPD, there's a good chance that you have something else along with it. Now, the notes that I am referring to here don't mention it, but I've researched in the past that BPD and bipolar are very common to occur together. So that's that. Treatments. BPD is often viewed as difficult to treat. However, recent research shows that BPD can be treated effectively and that many people with the illness improve over time. BPD can be treated with psychotherapy or talk therapy. Psychotherapy is usually the first treatment for people with BPD. Types of psychotherapy used to treat BPD include the following. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can help people with BPD identify and change core beliefs and or behaviors that underlie inaccurate perceptions of themselves and others and problems interacting with others. CBT may reduce a range of mood and anxiety symptoms and reduce the number of suicidal or self-harming behaviors. Now, here's the big one, DBT. DBT was actually designed to treat borderline personality disorder. Now it treats an array of other things and disorders as well, but it started with BPD. So if you've seen my DBT videos, then you probably already have a sense of what DBT is about, but here's just a little blurb about it. DBT, this type of therapy, focuses on the concept of mindfulness or being aware and attentive to the current situation. DBT teaches skills to control intense emotions, reduces self-destructive behaviors, and improves relationships. This therapy differs from CBT in that it seeks a balance between changing and accepting beliefs and behaviors. Now, this type of therapy I hadn't heard of before, schema-focused therapy. This type of therapy combines elements of CBT with other forms of psychotherapy that focuses on reframing schemas or the ways people view themselves. This approach is based on the idea that BPD stems from a dysfunctional self-image, possibly brought on by negative childhood experiences. That affects how people react to their environment, interact with others, and cope with problems or stress. Now, as far as medication goes, no medications have been approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to treat BPD. However, many people with BPD are treated with medications in addition to psychotherapy. So medications can help reduce symptoms such as anxiety, depression, or aggression. So anti-anxiety medications, antidepressants, I believe those are the two most commonly used ones. I've read SSRIs as far as antidepressants go are used. But yeah, so that is just a little overview of borderline personality disorder for you. So like I said, this is kind of a controversial disorder. As far as my opinion goes, I like other disorders better than it. It sounds kind of weird to say that I like other disorders better than it, but I think that like bipolar and depression, schizophrenia, I mean, when you're dealing with personality disorders, it's really tricky. I mean, mood disorders and thought disorders, those are pretty cut and dry. But personality disorders, I mean, you're saying something is wrong with the person's personality. And so many people seem to have something wrong with their personality, so it's sort of hard to say. But anyway, there you go. So thank you guys all so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!